because the Lions are so interesting and fun to watch, it makes these other games look like freshman games.
I just don't
JV games. Even though the Bills and the Rams was somewhat exciting.
And the Vikings Falcons was good until 10 minutes to go in the game.
Well, that's when I started watching.
A certain point. Oh, yeah.
It was straight until a certain point.
But because the Lions are so dynamic,
Kirk Cousins.
when you see these other teams play, it's just not – it's like, I don't even care.
I think it's just different than being dynamic. And what Myers just said, I'm going to use that. It's that you know what? It's dynamic in the sense – Lamar Jackson is dynamic, and what he does is amazing to watch. Patrick Mahomes, although whatever here, he's still dynamic. The Rams last night, they were dynamic. Josh Allen, my God, he was dynamic. In fact, there hasn't been a performance like that since Green Bay back in the 50s against the Lions, of course. But it's how they do it. You've never seen anything like that. It's the creativity of how they're doing it. Lamar Jackson's throwing touchdowns, he's running around, but we've seen him do this for the past 6-7 years. Still super dope, but we've seen it. We haven't seen the type of plays like just that. What was the insert pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown or the handoff? I can't remember what Baldy called it. What that play was called? The handoff they did. Boom, boom.
Double dip.
Yeah,
the triple threat or something like that.
Like how many times? Like I can go down the list.
Double
of
scoop.
The double scoop thing,
Triple
but you
trap.
can go down the list of plays that you've seen from September till now. It's just so many dynamic ways to get 6 points. So many ways. Hell, we almost saw Penei Sewell throw for a touchdown a couple of weeks ago, or at least attempt to pass. So I think it's the creative way in which you're doing. You're not seeing anything like this on a regular.
No doubt about it.
Honestly, I'm just bored without watching the Lions.
I don't want to say I'm bored,
I'm not as
bored.
locked,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not as locked in anymore as I used to be. This hasn't been like years. This has just been this year for some reason. For some reason, if the Lions aren't playing, you know what? If we got to go outside to the yard and get some leaves or whatever, if it's nice out, I don't care.
Could this be the reason, Maz? Because nothing anybody else does affects the Lions.
Well, that's yes.
Yes, but with the exception of the Eagles. Like with the Eagles
And
are the only team you're watching. 100. That's two teams.
Yeah.
So there's no other games to watch.
100%.
Because you're not worried about what has to
100%.
happen or what.
Yep.
Even last year you worried because it was the first time you were really seeing them break through.
Right.
We saw 9-8, but we weren't sure. 12-5, we weren't sure.
100%.
Now we not only know. We're not chasing anybody. So there's no reason to be down into a game like, if they lose, that can move the Lions up in this department.
Right.
And maybe we don't have it's the Lions, the Eagles, and they just beat Green Bay.
Well,
you got three teams.
I agree with you with the caveat of Minnesota and Philadelphia because I do believe.
Do you like Philly after last night?
Carolina should have beat them.
I know. Yeah. I'm not going to judge Philly just because I think when you play a team like. And this is
they got a big one coming up.
This is what we were worried about with Jacksonville. Yeah. Here's the difference between Detroit and Philadelphia. When Detroit plays a Jacksonville-type team, they hang 52 on them, and it's like a practice. Mm-hmm. When Philadelphia plays a team that is less than, they play down to them, look at it like an automatic win, and they nearly lose the game. And I think that's one of the ways the Detroit Lions are different from every other team that plays football in the NFL. They don't take anything for granted. They're going to beat you up and down the field. They don't care if you're the Chiefs or you're the Panthers, the Jags, or the Packers. They're going to handle their business. They're going to focus on them. They don't care about you. Philadelphia cared who they were playing yesterday, and it almost bit them.
That's coaching.
That's 100%. Like I've been on teams.
Yes.
I've been on teams where you're a team that's better than another team. You may not put as much work into it, whether it's the game plan, whether it's the practicing. You're looking at the team ahead. You go out there, and you pucks around that game. And you either almost get beat or you come back, but you win in the end. And you're like, man. But Dan Campbell's not coaching it that way. The other way that you do that, you just beat the team into submission early on. You let a bad team know at the beginning of the game, you're a bad team, we're not. You establish some things, and now that team quits early. Now it's not so much of a problem later on in games. Insert the Titans, insert the Jacksonville Jaguars. They started off early. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They imposed their will.
Here's what it's going to come down to, guys. Coaching. I just said it before Bray said anything. Dan Campbell way over Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell right now is in Matt LaFleur's head. You could see it. The teams might be equal, almost equal in personnel. Almost. Both those teams. But Dan Campbell is going to outcoach those teams. Now, Matt LaFleur, he don't get outcoached by many guys. I just think he's got something in his head against Dan Campbell and the Lions. He doesn't know what the hell they're going to do, and he don't get it. And then if you go to the AFC, you got coaches like Kansas City's
Andy Reid,
Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. Those are the big four in the AFC. If I'm missing someone, I'm sorry. Sean Payton, maybe. He's going to be on the way up. But I'll take our personnel with our coaching over any of those teams until you get to Kansas City. Then it's going to be even Steven. Best team's going to win that game.
Yeah, say that Kansas City big, because I got a whole deal for that. We can have some fun with Kansas City in terms of the AFC East. But you get back to the Eagles. The Eagles were a team that relied heavy on the run in the last couple of years, especially ever since Shane Steichen left. Last year, they couldn't figure out the pass. They struggled in games once Jalen Hurts got hurt. You bring in Saquon Barkley. What they've done is they've relied on the run. What Carolina did to them, they stacked the box. All right, we're just not going to let you run with Saquon. When you make Jalen Hurts have to beat you, here comes the quarterback that there were question marks at Alabama, question marks at Oklahoma, question marks in Philly. I think that's what you're seeing. Teams are realizing, stack the box against Saquon. Don't allow them to run the ball. Make Jalen Hurts beat you as a passer because he hasn't had success.
He threw for 140 yards yesterday.
180 passing yards a game is the worst in the NFL. Yeah. He hasn't been successful with the pass since Shane Steichen left, with the exception of the beginning of the season last year. I think he and A.J. Brown, first 5 games. But ever since then, he's been on just a horrible slate.
A.J. Brown's pissed.
He's always pissed.
I did see. They were talking about that. I think it was Herb Street the other night was talking about that in relation. Yeah, go Blue. Talking about that.
Checkmate.
Herb Street's son going to Michigan. But Herb Street was talking about that the other night in relation to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And by the way, programming note, we're going to be talking to Dave Burkett, Lions beat reporter, Detroit Free Press, coming up top of hour number 2. So if you're not watching live, or if you are watching live 40 minutes from now, and if you are not watching live, it is going to be in about 40 minutes from now. He'll join us to talk about all things Lions. But on Thursday night, if you go back to that game, you mentioned A.J. Brown calling out the passing game. Who you calling out? The quarterback and the offensive coordinator, right?
100%.
You don't hear that from Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a guy, and Herb Street called out all of the times that he was blocking down the field, not getting any targets, not getting any passes. But you saw him first quarter, second quarter, deep into the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, blocking down the field for David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, Tim Patrick. He threw a couple of blocks for. That is not always like that at your position, Braylon Edwards, because so many people, look, when you're a running back, you want the football. When you're a wide receiver, you want the football. And if you're not getting the football, chances are you're a guy that gets a little mad about that. I would be mad about that if I was a running back and they didn't give me the ball at all. I understand that, but it's just another reason why I like Detroit more than I like Philadelphia. It is all those things, the little things that the players are willing to do to have a leg up as a team.
Yeah, it's kind of how things are built, to be honest. Look, man, both are great players. A.J. Brown is a great wide receiver in this league. Amon-Ra is a great wide receiver in this league. If you look at A.J. Brown, how he kind of started, he started down there in Tennessee Titans where he can kind of do as he wanted to. There wasn't really any restrictions. He became the guy down there. He can voice all that he wanted to. That's the guy Philadelphia went and got, and they paid $125 million to. Then what does he do when he gets to Philly? His stats, along with others, got them to the Super Bowl. Yeah. And he was a direct reflection of that, and they let him talk that way. Keep in mind, the beginning of last season, what did he do? He broke the NFL record, 6 consecutive games in a row with 150 yards or more. Yeah. And then when they didn't give him the ball, what started happening? Started losing. So I think for him, that's how his reputation has been built. That's what you have to deal with in Philly. How did Amon-Ra start? Amon-Ra started. I'm pissed at everybody that was drafted before me. I'm going to go out there and work. I'm going to do all the things important that are intangible for winning. All the things that are important for winning. And that's what he did starting in 2021. Then he became the starter. He didn't change those things. He only got better and better. He only worked harder and harder. And a part of him was all of the things, the blocking, the running. He's seen the bad. So I think two great players just built two different ways.
Dan Campbell's going to be speaking to the media here in a few minutes. Like we said, Dave Burkett joins us at the top of the hour. Let me ask you guys this. After seeing the Rams finally show up again, after, you give up on a team and then they show up. I had a feeling that they would play hard against Buffalo, but they beat Buffalo. They scored 44 points against Buffalo. So my question for you is, as the Bills come in here, and Bills Mafia, I hear, are coming en masse. I talked to the crack man on Friday night. He was there at the Killer Cares.
Yep.
He's like, Maz, they've already booked several bars downtown Friday, Saturday night. They're taking over downtown Detroit. So my question to you is, Bills Mafia coming in, bringing their tables. CBS is coming in. They're doing the pregame show. Bill Cowher, Nate Burleson, all those guys are going to be here.
Terrible
on
pregame
Sunday.
show, by the way.
I'm just going to say, would you rather have Buffalo won yesterday, or
Yes.
now they're coming in with a loss, playing the Lions on Sunday?
Can I answer it both ways? Yes. But it doesn't matter because the Lions are just going to do what they're going to do.
No, then skip the first part and just say that part.
Okay, the Lions don't care whether they win or whether they lose. They don't care if it's the Bills, the Chiefs, the Panthers, the Jags.
It don't matter.
They are going to do what they do. And yeah, I could skip the first part because it's my second part covers it.
100%. I agree with you, and this is why I had this caveat. I watched that game on repeat because I was doing the thing with Lamar Woodley. Shout out to Lamar again. So I said, I get back. I want to watch this game. What happened? I'm hearing 6 touchdowns. I'm hearing all this crazy thing. Josh Allen was magnificent.
Yeah.
Probably should be the MVP. We'll get back to that later. They can't stop the run.
Exactly.
Kyron Williams ran the ball on them. They stayed on track. They were scoring points, but you know what Sean McVay didn't do? He didn't eliminate the run. He didn't say they're scoring points, we got to make this a track meet. No, we'll still run because we're having success. They ran the ball on Buffalo. And they're just an okay running team with a great running back. What do you think the Lions are going to do?
Exactly.
Not to mention. So that's why I'm not scared of them, is because of what I saw. Josh Allen is great.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you did all that last night, and you did all that and lost. The Detroit Lions have a much better running game, the number one running game, and they also have a quarterback and offensive coordinator that can do the same things that Sean McVay did. Yes, the same things, not less.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not worried about Buffalo because I saw that. Like, I was worried about Josh Allen until I watched that game. Their defense can't stop them. No,
Remember
but this one.
Lions got to play keep away.
Yeah, that's ball control
Remember
football.
when we, at the start of the season, we did our game by game,
Yep.
pick by pick,
Yep.
win,
This is a L.
lose, win.
I had him as a loss to Buffalo.
Well, sure. Put it up for a second
Hang on a minute.
if you've got it.
Let me grab it for you. Yep.
And the reason why I even bring it up is because the only reason
Let me fix
I
it.
have a loss to the Cowboys, the only reason I have a loss to the Texans and Colts and 49ers
You got beaten the Bills.
is because I felt like I
you
had
had to do it. Right. We're not going to make them
Right.
17-0.
But
Although it was
Might as
hard to
well,
put an L there.
yes, that's what I'm talking about. It is. I think the Lions are going to win every single game they play, and that's not just wishful thinking. That is, I think the Lions are going to win every game they play because they're better than every team they play. But, and there is a but, I do think it is very hard for most teams, clearly not this one so far, to be at your best week in and week out. At some point, you're going to lay an egg. Maybe not. Maybe that's not the case for them. But it's so hard. I'm looking at the standings, and right now I've got the Minnesota Vikings schedule up. You look at the standings, and the Lions are 1 week. They're 12-1. Mm-hmm. They are one Sunday afternoon away from being tied for the division. Now I know they own the tiebreaker,
Right.
but there is one more against Minnesota.
Correct.
Last night, the Kansas City Chiefs at 12-1 clinched their division. They won the AFC West division last night at 12-1.
Yep.
At 12-1, the Lions are one Sunday away from being tied
Amazing.
in the North, and heaven forbid have to go on the road in the wild card round. That's how good this division has been. That's why I'm not in any way, shape, or form like freaking out. Oh my gosh, we're gonna freak out. But you do have to consider and play some sort of realistic. Holy cow! On one hand, the Chiefs clinch a division. On the other hand, the Lions are one Sunday away from playing, being the 5 seed and playing on the road in the wild card
Amazing.
round.
Yeah, it's amazing that it's that close, man. But the thing that, like you said, you're not freaking out at all. You're just pointing out. It's crazy. 12-1 does this in this league. 12-1 does that in that one. But it's how good this league has been. But you know who leads that league? It's the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions at every turn. That's why I say I have nothing to say about the Lions the rest of the season. Doesn't matter who they play. I know what the end result is going to be. They just find the ways to win, whether it's the defense, finding players to plug in. These guys just got off the couch, and they come in and play and make plays in this game, whether it's the offense, finding ways to input. Like Zeitler. Like, I've been watching some of the Lions film, man, just at the house, kind of just bored, killing some time. Kevin Zeitler's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is moving some players around. Like, I'm talking about other grown men that are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. He's moving them around. So when you just watch the way in which it's so cliche, we talk about it all the time. We've been talking about it so much for the last 18 months, but it reigns supreme. They trust Dan. They follow Dan. And every time they go into battle, they got the Warriors to win. They got the Warriors, and they got the generals. They have the commanders. They have the generals and commanders and the armies to win. They find the ways no matter what. So it doesn't matter what the Vikings do. It doesn't matter what Green Bay does. The Lions are the best team in this division, and they'll find a way to get the W.
The Lions, Vikings, and Packers have not lost to anyone except their own division.
Each other?
It's incredible.
Damn.
That's amazing. Nobody.
Well, I mean, the Lions lost to the Bucks, but
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Same
But
conference.
technically, it's NFC Central.
Yeah, I was gonna say same.
Yeah, the old NFC
I got you back, man.
I still got that glass
Oh, you do?
with the Buccaneers
With
in
the-
there.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Buccaneers in that central.
yeah, they're
division.
28-3 against the rest of the league, outside of each other. 28-3.
Listen, I watched the Viking game. I like watching our division.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold. It's going to be tough for them to get rid of him.
They're not.
That's how good he is showing. Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback guru, got his hands on this guy. Don't forget,